Void subclasses are extremely powerful this season in Destiny 2. The new seasonal artifact is riddled with perks that benefit Void subclasses, and the new build crafting system can make our Void builds better than ever. Today we've got an updated version of my favorite Void build in the game, but we'll also go over all the artifact perks that are making Void incredibly strong this season, so no matter which class you play on, you can take it to the highest level. My name is Gray. If you enjoyed today's video, a like and sub is massively appreciated. We are closing in on 30k subs, and it would mean a lot to me if we hit that goal. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Void 3.0 has always been incredibly strong, but with the new subclass fragments and build crafting system, Void got a fresh coat of paint. Today we're going over Void Warlock, and that starts with the Controverse Hold exotic gauntlets. Many of you are familiar with how this works by now. This exotic has the perk Chaotic Exchanger, which grants us massively improved grenade regen after hitting a target with a charged Void grenade. This will return roughly 50% of our grenade instantly, and has the potential to tick twice on larger targets for a full refund. This exotic has always been amazing for Void Warlock, but now that our grenades can generate orbs directly and fuel all of our armor mods, it's stronger than ever. Starting with our subclass, I recommend Nova Bomb Cataclysm for max damage, and Vortex Grenade will be your best option to pair with Controverse Hold. Our two aspects will be Chaos Accelerant, which is what allows us to charge our grenades in the first place, and Feed the Void, which grants us Devour whenever we defeat a target with a Void ability. This will activate on any grenade, melee, super, or volatile weapon final blow. That last part will be very important to keep in mind, especially this season. Our first fragment will be Echo of Undermining, which makes our grenade apply a 15% debuff. This is extremely powerful this season, as the current artifact perks don't provide a method of debuffing enemies like we had last season with Weakened Clear. This debuff helps your fire team a ton, especially when tackling overpowered content on Neomuna. We then take Echo of Remnants, which makes our Void grenades last longer. This ramps up the total overall damage of our grenades and is what allows Controverse to proc twice on those bigger targets. For our third fragment slot, we have some room to experiment. I still recommend Echo of Instability, which grants volatile rounds after a grenade kill. I know we have volatile flow on the seasonal artifact and it's amazing, but being able to activate volatile at any time without needing an orb is extremely convenient. The new fragment Echo of Cessation creates a burst of Void energy that makes nearby enemies volatile when we perform a finisher. It also creates a Void Breach when we defeat a volatile enemy. Void Breaches are the new Void spawned object, and they grant you class ability energy when you pick them up. You can certainly run this new fragment if you'd like, although the class ability energy from Void Breaches really isn't necessary for this particular build, but I could see it being very strong on Hunter or Titan. Now we do have to take a minute to talk about the seasonal artifact perks because they are putting Void subclasses in a very good position. Remember that these are now passive unlocks that are active at all times. You'll want to take Authorized Mods Void to reduce the cost of Void armor mods, and Authorized Mods Grenades to do the same for your grenade mods. This makes it much easier to fill out our build with extra mods. You'll then take Volatile Flow, which grants volatile rounds for 13 seconds after picking up an Orb of Power. This perk is incredibly strong, and I do still pair it with Echo of Instability, as this will give us two ways to constantly refresh the volatile buff, and since we have nearly unlimited grenades with this build, we can essentially have permanent volatile rounds at all times. I then recommend taking Shatter Orbs. This perk creates an Orb of Power when we break a matching elemental shield. There are a lot of Void shields around this season, which makes this super easy to take advantage of for free orbs. Bricks from Beyond gives us a chance to spawn heavy ammo bricks for ourselves and our teammates when defeating powerful targets with a Void weapon. This is a great passive benefit to have. Finally, in the last column, we have Void Weapon Channeling. This grants us a bonus to Void Weapon damage after getting a Void Weapon kill, based on however many abilities that are currently charged. This ranges from 10% all the way up to a 25% damage increase based on the amount of abilities that you have charged, and this does include your super. This perk grants us a free weapon damage buff without the need to run weapon surge mods on our legs, meaning we can use our armor charges for other things without them constantly decaying. Now moving on to our armor mods, feel free to screenshot the video now for a snapshot of the build and use the dim link below to set these mods up instantly in game and save it as a loadout. On our helmet, we will take 2 copies of Ashes to Assets and 1 copy of Harmonic Siphon. This will allow us to generate tons of free super energy off of our endless grenades and will allow our Void weapons to start generating orbs. On our arms, we will take 1 copy of Firepower, which will allow our Void grenade to generate an orb of power on kill, and 2 copies copies of Grenade Kickstart. This mod is the new version of Firepower from pre-Lightfall and will consume all of our currently available armor charges when we throw our grenade and grant us a big chunk of grenade energy immediately. Combined with Controverse Hold, this will allow us to constantly refund nearly our entire grenade every time we use it. On our chest, I am taking Charged Up, which raises our armor charge cap to 4 up from 3, which will allow Grenade Kickstart to refund more grenade energy when we use it. You can fill this out with resist mods or reserve mods, keeping in mind that void theme mods will be greatly discounted. For our leg armor, you'll want to take Stacks on Stacks, which will grant us 2 stacks of armor charge whenever we pick up an orb, making it much easier to take advantage of Grenade Kickstart. I then take 2 copies of Innervation, which will also grant grenade energy instantly when we pick up an orb. And finally, on our class item, I am taking 2 copies of Bomber, which reduce grenade cooldown when we use our Rift near enemies. And currently, I am using Distribution as well, although once the Reaper mod is reactivated, I will swap that in here instead. You'll want to aim for 100 Resilience and 100 Discipline to make the build as seamless as possible. As far as our weapons go, I highly recommend a Void weapon with Repulsor Brace. This allows us constant access to a Void Overshield when we defeat Void debuffed enemies. There are some great options for both primary and special weapons in our energy slot, and I am currently using the Hero's Burden, which is a 900 RPM SMG and pairs great with volatile rounds, and keep in mind that volatile rounds can now stun anti-barrier champions. A Void heavy weapon is essential for taking advantage of Void weapon channeling. A Void Rocket or Void Linear Fusion is a great option here. All in all, I think Void subclasses are in an excellent position for this first season of Lightfall, and I plan on doing builds for both Hunter and Titan as well, so let me know what you'd like to see next down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like and sub greatly helps me out and helps me get closer to my goal of 30k subs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.